So I've lived here on this island for quite some time, pretty much all of my existence, and the most beautiful thing about the nighttime sky is that you hear the birds chirping in the background sometimes when I have the window open, and it really sets the mood for what you're about to talk about on your channel. Hello once again, ladies and gentlemen, to every Descendants of Zombies fan. If you are somebody who is new here to this channel, I think you're really going to find time in appreciating it and love this channel so much. Really with all of your heart for how I've told the stories about your favorite characters, because I, just like all of you, have a special place in my heart for all of them. It's forever and always been there. It will forever and always remain. It will always be the one thing that will remain constant with me and all of us as we make our way towards a very unpredictable future, and we're going to experience it together because we never seem to know what the future has in store. It's kind of like going to a movie for the first time and seeing a preview for your favorite movie that you didn't expect to be released so soon, and you're like, oh my god, I have to start making plans to go see this movie. Like the Super Mario Galaxy movie or Mortal Kombat 2, whatever you're a fan of. I'm just using these movies as an example, but it's kind of like seeing a movie for the first time ever and not quite knowing what to expect. And I think that's how Descendants of Zombies has really made us all feel, because we felt connected to these franchises. We felt a part of these franchises. And I remember from the first moment that I created the Descendants of Zombies video, making you all want to feel a part of these franchises, and obviously connected to these franchises in so many unbelievable ways, which you guys really allowed me the opportunity to become a part of, because you guys allowed me the chance to become a part of this soundtrack, which is something that I will never ever forget, because I've always chosen to look at this as an honor. Because ever since perceiving this as an honor, I've had so much fun creating videos that were relatable to so many wonderful people, because no matter who we are, we all have a story, and we just want our story to be heard and seen by more people than ever before. And you got to believe me and hear where I'm coming from. I never imagined that this YouTube channel would have went on to become everybody's favorite. I just kind of it was a hit or miss for me with Descendants of Zombies, and I just kind of put my content out there in an art gallery for all of you to walk through, and I left it up to you to decide whether or not these videos were going to touch your heart, because that's all I ever wanted to do, was seemingly some way or somehow touch all of your hearts, no matter what your age was, no matter what your story may have been. I always wanted to create really nice videos for all of you about Descendants of Zombies to make you feel connected and more appreciative of a franchise that still has a long way to go. They have seen their fair share of criticism, ladies and gentlemen, there's no doubt about that. But we together can take that away, and we can replace it with a really nice vibe for every fan of Descendants of Zombies by just simply saying something nice. Like Kylie Cantrell is the sweetest person we've ever seen. Like Ruby Rose Turner showed so much initiative and talent, bringing the character Bridget to life for the first time ever, going on to inspire so many wonderful people. Malia Baker did a fabulous job as the daughter of Cinderella and Prince Charming for the first time ever, 75 years to the date of the release of the original Cinderella back in 1997. I've loved every moment that I've had the chance to be a part of this story and share my story with you about how I became a fan of Descendants of Zombies, which may have happened in the form of girls showing up my door every year on Halloween dressed up as their favorite Descendants characters. I've told this story over and over again many times, but it's what led me to all of you. I feel like I've fallen down through a proverbial rabbit hole, and I've been talking about Descendants of Zombies ever since, because I've been so appreciative of this niche. Because from within this niche, so many incredibly supportive fans exist. So many incredibly supportive fans are seen. And I've had the honor to go on to create over 1,000 videos about Descendants of Zombies that some way or somehow has managed to resonate with far more people than I ever imagined possible, so I have all of you to thank. Now, I know I've shared with you a lot of really crazy and really hard to believe stories about how I thought this or I believed that about alien invasions and zombie apocalypses, but how else did you expect me to bring these videos to life? How else did you expect me to touch the hearts of so many wonderful people? Because if you're somebody who's held on to Descendants of Zombies for your entire life, all you've ever wanted is to be given something special to believe in, so too have your favorite stars, because they have been subjected to far too much criticism, especially for ASK, who is still relatively young and still new to these franchises. Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires, I believe, was her first ever movie. And I remember how appreciative she was to be working alongside such stars, such icons as Milo Manheim and Meg Donnelly, because she never imagined that she would have ever had the chance to do it. I remember when I saw Freya for the first time ever on a show called YTV's The Next Step, and that was years ago. I used to come home from work, throw my keys down on the kitchen counter, crash on the couch, and I remember watching Freya Sky perform, just having a dream of being like all of her favorite stars that she used to idolize ever since the age of 5, possessing a karaoke machine. Who didn't have a karaoke machine at 5 years old? I think I was the only guy who never had a karaoke machine at 5 years old. I think I was 25 when I first started singing karaoke, and you better believe me, I was never the best. Freya Sky had a lot on me when it came to performing karaoke, because she did it so beautifully and so effectively and so powerfully. I think the one thing we've always taken away from Freya's performances and her criteria was that she had such a powerful approach that would go on to touch the hearts of so many wonderful people. And if you're somebody who's listened to the song Silent Treatment, for argument's sake, over 1,000,000 times, I want you to know there's nothing wrong with that. I want you to continue to listen to that song 1,001 times, because every single time you hear it, it's almost as if you're hearing it for the first time ever. That's how the song Life is Sweeter When You Are has often reminded me of how you just can't stop listening to a song. It was a bubblegum type song that everybody was so proud to learn the choreographing of, just felt so proud to be a part of at the Millennium Dance Complex when they performed it, herself and Ruby Rose Turner. Kylie Cantrell and Ruby Rose Turner performed it for the first time ever, and you guys felt connected to it. You felt a part of it. You were getting down. You were having so much fun. I believe they did it for Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires. Don't Mess With Us was the song they did the choreographing for also. And I remember how appreciative everybody was just to be lost in the moments. Because the thing about Descendants of Zombies is they provide us a chance to become lost in so many unforgettable moments that we, in fact, create ourselves. How do you think we always remember being fans of Disney? Because of the moments that we create, either going to Disneyland for the first time ever, hanging out with our friends, watching Disney movies, having sleepovers. That's how we create moments. The very first moment you may have watched Beauty and the Beast, which I actually did this evening because Beauty and the Beast was one of my favorite Disney classics that I often watch every year at least once for the rest of my life. I watched Beauty and the Beast because I always admired Belle's intelligence and just how genuinely sweet and kind the girl was. She was one of the most sweet and kind Disney princesses that were ever created. And I never ever forgot just how genuinely sweet Belle was. And I've often encouraged people that because I've never seen a whole lot of kind acts in this lifetime or enough kind people, I found it within the Descendants of Zombies niche. So what I've tried to encourage is that whenever you have the chance to spread your own message of kindness, you should. Because you never know how much time you have, and oftentimes people have asked me, what should I do with the time that I have? I think you should make an effort to spread more kindness, because I know for certain that there are really kind people found from within this niche who have been incredibly supportive of every video that I've ever created. My stories about how I was a fan of Disney princesses. Actually, I just purchased over 15 photos, 8x10 photos of Disney princesses, the original Disney princess lineup that I'm going to be putting on display proudly for you guys as part of my upcoming YouTube reconstruction set, which is going to be really, really cool. I have to frame the photos before I put them up on display, but I'm so proud to have them because of just the message of kindness that Disney helped spread through creating all these wonderful princesses like Aurora and Belle and Jasmine and Ariel. I mean, I can go on forever about Disney princesses because no matter what girl is watching this video tonight, every single one of them has a favorite Disney princess, no matter who that Disney princess is or what her reason is for being a fan of that favorite Disney princess she's always had. I think we can really find time in appreciating that. How Freya Sky's favorite Disney princess was always Rapunzel, mine too, because of just how appreciative she was of life and her friends that she made in her lifetime. Her mother, Gothel, may have never approved of what she wanted to get the most out of life for having experienced, but she just wanted to spread her own message of kindness. She wanted to see the fireflies light up more than anything else in the world on her 16th birthday. And when she finally had the chance to experience it and witness it with Eugene, Flint Rider, she never ever forgot it. And that moment will go on to mean so much to her heart. And that's the one thing that always stood out to me about how much people appreciated Rapunzel, was how Tangle was brought to life because of how Mandy Moore lent her voice to that soundtrack and sang songs like Now I Can See the Light, Wind in My Hair. They were very beautifully done. I think that these moments, that they have ways of resonating with us, and I think that there are far more people out there that have had a moment at the expense of a Disney princess that has always resonated with them, that brought them back to that moment that they realized that being a fan of Disney and all things related to it were kind of cool. And now as a part of this new generation, we see Descendants of Zombies forever resonating with us, having ways of touching our hearts in ways that we never imagined possible. I never imagined that this YouTube channel would have went on to touch the hearts of so many wonderful people who may have a favorite character from Descendants of Zombies, be it the reason why they found this YouTube channel and have been with me ever since. Maybe it was a favorite moment that you may have had when Addison punched Zed in the face for the first time ever in the zombie safe zone, or they realized that they were going to spend the rest of their lives together. Ain't No Doubt About It was a beautiful song from Zombies 3, where they wanted to make all these sacrifices, no matter how many times Addison had to embrace her true identity as a zombie, a werewolf, and eventually an alien. All they ever wanted was to spend the rest of their lives together, and they sacrificed just about everything and everyone until that happened for them by the end of Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires, which was a moment that stayed with us for forever, because no matter who we were, we never wanted to say goodbye or close the book on Zed and Aniston's story because of just how much they made that story stand out and how many people appreciated it because of just how beautiful the duets were they compiled, like Someday, or songs like Dream Come True from Freya Sky and, of course, Malachi Burton, who are doing a fabulous job carrying on the legacy of the Zombies franchise. I think this is exactly why Meg Donnelly and Milo Manheim had always envisioned that the Zombies franchise would go on to become. But again, the greatest contributions, we can sit here and talk about the stars as often as much as we want, but the greatest contributions have always come from the fans who have made Descendants of Zombies so special and truly unforgettable for guys like me. Because before all of you came a part of my life, I pretty much was a loser. That pretty much had nothing happening for him until you guys just kind of showed up and you guys, gave me something special to be a part of. You considered me a part of the soundtrack of Descendants of Zombies, and before all of you, I never quite knew what direction I wanted to take my content in until Descendants of Zombies just kind of magically happened for me one evening, and I've been talking about it ever since. But I do know this. While I don't know what the future may have in store, the one thing I've always known is that I always wanted to be that one guy who would be relatable, who could understand his audience better than anybody else ever could, and always be that one dedicated voice that would always have something nice to say about, say, Kylie Cantrell, because of all the criticism she has received. She is coming into her power era, and I think we can really find time in appreciating how Kylie has come into her power era because she's so dedicated to who she wants to be. She obviously knows who she wants to be, but still finding her place in the world can be very difficult for a girl who is just, I think, 21 years old this coming June. So this coming summer, she will celebrate her 21st birthday. I remember when I was 21, I didn't even know if I was coming or going. I didn't know what direction I wanted to take my life in. I think when I was 15 years old, my biggest dream would have been to have the greatest video game collection of all time, either that or become a professional wrestler and suplex my way to WrestleMania. Although I never realized that dream. At 21 years old, I didn't really know if I was coming or going. So at least Kylie Cantrell has a vision for herself, and all we got to do is find time in supporting that vision and accept Kylie Cantrell for the person that she is. Now, I know there are a lot of people that really have never been fans of this new generation of talent that Disney has kind of come into and that are currently marketing, but there are also diehard fans out there who know everything there is to know about their favorite stars, and they are never going to quit on them, and they are never going to go away. So the best we can do as reviewers is find time in supporting that and always be the voice that says something nice behind Freya and Kylie's success, because that's what we're witnessing. We're setting ourselves up to be a part of history, and I am really excited to be a part of it with all of you. Now, while I may have wanted to be a pro wrestler 20 years ago, and it never happened for me, I also wanted to showcase my passion for Descendants and Zombies, and I had the chance to do that because of all of you and how much you would go on to mean to my heart, because of how I could share stories with you about how I thought Belle may have been the most beautiful Disney princess that I ever saw, how I appreciated Rapunzel's love for life and everybody in her life, like Eugene and Pascal and Maximus, her horse that she always used to ride on. There was always something special about how Disney could bring these stories to life, and without a doubt, Descendants of Zombies is one of the biggest and one of the best they've ever brought to life, with so much enthusiasm, with so much light. Because Descendants of Zombies, the thing about Descendants of Zombies is it gives the world so much light and a whole new appreciation for things that we've often never valued, like time and friendship. The one thing I've always encouraged is that if you have this really annoying friend, every single time she calls you, you should pick up the phone and, just say hi and just start talking about things that are so random and odd. And the thing is, guys, you will always take away a greater appreciation for that, how that one annoying friend is the most appreciative friend that you have of yourself. And it will always help you make sense of everything going on around you. Or probably that one guy who always calls you or texts you just to say hi to you because he has the biggest crush in the world on you and probably never admits to it. I think it's time you got around to doing it, because you only have so much time in life to really make these moments count. You should never turn yourself away from experiencing what is really out there for you to achieve, because you're that much closer to a dream than you ever realize, just as fast as you can snap your fingers. And I think that's the best way for me to put that into perspective for you, is that you're that much closer to your dream than you ever realized. Like how Belle from Beauty and the Beast just wanted to spread a message of kindness by being genuinely sweet and kind to everybody, even the librarian who gave her a book that she always used to check out every Friday at the local bookstore. And until he gave her that book, she would go back to the library every single weekend just to spend her money on a book and check it out just to read it over and over again after having read it in its entirety, God only knows how many times. But there are so many moments from these movies that you often never really take time to appreciate, like how Belle had a relationship with the librarian who always noticed every book that she used to read, or how Belle and Beast just kind of fell in love instantly. I know there are people who have often criticized how Belle and Beast's relationship had always been, their friendship and their relationship, which obviously evolved into something more. But if you actually watch the Beauty and the Beast movie, within 25 minutes of that movie, I kid you not, they have a greater appreciation for each other. I know Beast did for Belle. Belle may have never had that same appreciation for Beast right away. But within 25 minutes of their introduction to each other, they had an appreciation for each other that I think we all found time in really appreciating over the last 35 years. Just as we did for Rapunzel and Eugene, who are going to be played by Tegan Croft and Milo Manheim in the upcoming live action. I believe they're shooting this one in Spain, and they're also trying to determine a new location for Descendants 6. It's either going to be shot here in Canada, where I'm from, or it's going to be shot in Ireland. I do believe both locations are really beautiful, but I prefer Ireland because we've never ever seen Descendants shot in Ireland. I'd love to go with them. To be honest with you, I'd really love to go with them to offer my creative energy to Descendants of Zombies, because if I was a part of the creative team and the creative process, you think you've seen a lot with Descendants of Zombies, you guys haven't seen anything yet. And when Jonathan Clarke gets in as part of the creative team for Descendants of Zombies, the creative process, oh, it's really going to be an amazing experience for all of us, because the thing is, you guys have really deserved somebody to be very dedicated, forever dedicated to Descendants of Zombies and who and what you've loved. And I think things like the director's chair have been a really revolving door. It's really been a revolving experience. And you guys have always deserved people to be dedicated to who and what you've loved and to offer them inspiration. Because I've always believed, maybe it's just me, but I've always believed that the best person that you could ever be is yourself. And the reason for that is because there's only going to be one you. So because there's ever and always only going to be one you in this lifetime, you should really make the most of every opportunity that you have. So for an example, if you believe that happily ever after exists and one can find true love, then keep on following your passions and see where it takes you. Because you could end up on that magic carpet ride where you go up into the stars and you never want to come down. You could take a visit under the sea like in Atlantica, or you may have to go to Halloween Town to meet Jack Sparrow and Sally. But the thing is, guys, whatever your dream is, you should never steer away from it and always steer yourself in the positive direction that always leads you to accomplishing your dream, because there's no greater feeling in the world. No matter who you are, whatever your story is, I just want to welcome you to this channel, and I want you to take something special away from it, and that is the believement that we are in store for a very beautiful future for Descendants of Zombies fans, for the Descendants of Zombies universe. And I'm just as excited as all of you to be a part of it, because there's no other feeling in the world that I want to experience, or any other place in the world that I want to be this evening. Thank you so much for having chosen this YouTube channel as your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel forever and always, because there's always something nice and positive to say about the futures of your favorite stars, because it's going to be a good one, and we are all going to be a part of it. Thank you so much for spending this past weekend with me also, because it was a great weekend. I had the chance to share my stories with you about being a Descendants of Zombies fan once again, and there are still so many wonderful moments for us to experience, and there's no better way for us to experience these moments than by experiencing them together. So if you're somebody who has not subscribed here to this YouTube channel, I would strongly recommend that you do, because there's always something special for you to take away from every video I've ever created, and there's always something special for everybody on this YouTube channel, because we are all fans of Descendants of Zombies in our own unique way, and it's something we've always believed in, and we've never wanted to let go of, and we've never wanted to say goodbye to. So why should we have to? Why can't we just keep on believing and be the best of friends for the rest of our lives? Because there's no better way to experience Descendants of Zombies than by experiencing it together. Thank you so much for having an appreciation for this YouTube channel, and every video I've ever created having a special place in your heart for what has always been Descendants of Zombies, the one thing that's been constant in all of our lives. And thank you so much forever and always for having watched every single one of these videos, because it's always been my honor to resonate with everybody and to create videos that you've known, loved, and certainly appreciated over time. Keep on believing in Descendants of Zombies, and have that special place in your hearts forever and always reserved for your favorite characters and the moments that led you to the moment where you realized that, hey, being a fan of Descendants of Zombies was kind of really cool, and I loved every single moment of it. Thank you so much for always being the fans of Descendants of Zombies and always being you. And thank you so much as always for having watched these videos.